Here we are, come back around to the Shiloh National Battlefield Park in Shiloh, Tennessee, my little strangelings. This time, I'd like to not only tell you about my story when I was there, but I'm going to bring the rest of my little strangelings some strangelings tales, too. Nothing happened on my latest trip to Shiloh, for which I was deeply disappointed, but also equally determined to make my return nearer the thinning of the veil to test my theory that the level of activity I experienced the first time I was here may have something to do with the fact that it was October 30th. 2008 or 2009, again, I'm fuzzy on the year, but I do know it was October 30th. I digress. Way back when I was a young 28 or 9-year-old, I made the trip to Memphis, Tennessee to see an online boyfriend. Charles, if you're seeing this and you remember me, I hope you're doing well. He had a love for history and the Civil War in particular, and we drove out to Shiloh and its battlefield. One of the first stops on this self-guided tour was an area known as the Hornet's Nest. I believe it was so named because when the gunfire was being exchanged, the rounds zipping back and forth made a whizzing or buzzing sound through the air like a hive of disturbed or angry hornets. Charles told me one of the ghost stories associated with Shiloh was that sometimes you could hear the odd crack of different rifles and that you could hear the whiz or buzz of the lead shot whipping through here, and lo and behold, no sooner did he tell me this, and we were walking down the sunken road, we heard the far distant crackle of gunfire, that angry whizzing hornet sound, and then something hit the foliage behind us. The tree branches whipping, and the distinct sound of something hitting and tearing through the leaves. We froze and looked at each other, and neither one of us had to ask if the other had heard it. We saw it clear as day on each other's faces that we had. Charles was less than enthusiastic, but put on a brave front, I think for me, who had quite the opposite reaction. I couldn't stop grinning from ear to ear with my excitement. Fast forward nearly 18 to 20 years, and my return trip where I enthusiastically told my now best friend and her husband all about the adventure of that day years ago, all while wistfully hoping to have a similar experience on this trip. Alas, it wouldn't be. But I told the same story in a few videos I took and posted while I was there, and had enough signal to get them up to you, my little strangelings. Now it's a month and more later since that second visit, and through comment threads on those videos, I've learned a few other experiences had by you guys. Messina commented on my video at the Hornet's Nest that she heard yelling like someone was warning me to watch out. Meanwhile, Leslie said, and I'm paraphrasing from her multitude of comments left, "We were there on Labor Day weekend, of this year I presume, and we stopped by and went to walk along this sunken road. As soon as we got out of the car, we smelled it, the very strong odor of gunpowder. I hesitated to say anything, but we're both very big 2A, Second Amendment, supporters, and work around firearms often, and I know that was it. That was what I was smelling. I asked some questions, giving detailed description of the area, and when I received an affirmative to all of those details, I could easily pinpoint that the sunken road she was speaking of was the trail from one side of the driving loop to the other, along the split rail fence line that comprised a viewing area over the vast field that was the thick of where the Hornet's Nest fighting happened. This was not the only area in Shiloh where I and Charles had an experience all those years ago. It was just the first. For more, stay tuned, my little strangelings, and as always, if you have a story of your own, please stitch, comment, duet, or even email me at soundparanormal@gmail.com. Whether you want full accreditation for your story or you wish for your story to be told while remaining anonymous, I respect your decision, my loves, and I am more than happy to share. Just note your preference clearly in the body of your message, and I'll do precisely as you ask. Until next time.